A small town, a warm summer evening, and two little girls in matching jerseys smiling for a photograph that would soon haunt a nation. This isn't just a story of a crime. It's a reminder of the darkness lurking beneath the surface of everyday life. This is the story of the Soham murders. In August 2002, the peaceful town of Soham in Cambridgeshire, England, faced a dark turning point that would mark its history forever. Known for its serene landscapes and close-knit community, Soham was the last place anyone would suspect to become the scene of a chilling crime. It was a typical summer day, full of laughter and the simple joys of a community barbecue. Among the cheerful faces were two young friends, Wells and Jessica Chapman, both just 10 years old. Dressed in matching Manchester United jerseys, they posed for a photograph, a joyful moment captured just hours before their mysterious disappearance. As night fell, the girls said goodbye, stepping out into the evening, never to return. The alarm was raised when they didn't come home for dinner. Within hours, their family's concern turned into panic, sparking one of the most extensive search operations the town had ever seen. The police were mobilized, volunteers gathered, and the quiet streets of Soham turned into pathways of hope and desperation as residents joined forces, searching every park, building, and alley. Yet, with each passing day, hope dimmed as the reality of their disappearance sank deeper into the hearts of those who knew them. Little did they know, the truth behind their disappearance would reveal a horrifying betrayal and a crime that would shock the nation. As the community of Soham grappled with the girls' disappearance, the investigation quickly intensified. Law enforcement deployed all available resources, and the media descended on the town, casting a spotlight that reached across the nation. Amidst the flurry of activity, one figure began to attract significant attention. Ian Huntley, the caretaker at Soham Village College, emerged as a key individual after he was interviewed by television reporters, portraying himself as a concerned local who was last to see the girls.
Evening, Ian. You're the school caretaker. The girls, Jessica and Holly, would know you, and they saw you on the front doorstep. What went on?
Well, I don't know the girls. I was stood on the front doorstep grooming my dog down. She'd run away and come back a bit of a mess. They just came across and asked how Miss Carr was, as she used to teach them at St Andrews. I just said she weren't very good, as she hadn't got the job. And they just said, please tell her that we're very sorry. And off they walked in the direction of the library over there.
Initial sympathy for Huntley shifted as investigators dug deeper. His past was troubling, marked by allegations that had somehow slipped through the cracks of the educational system. This discovery raised urgent questions about his character and his potential involvement. The investigation's focus sharpened on Huntley, scrutinizing his every move and statement. Forensic teams combed through his home and the school property looking for any trace of Holly and Jessica. The community watched, hearts in their throats, as the search grew more desperate. As the days passed, the tension in Soham was palpable. The hope for a simple resolution faded, replaced by the fear of what might be uncovered. The puzzle pieces were slowly fitting together, pointing to a narrative far more sinister than anyone had dared to imagine. Then, a breakthrough came. It was not the news anyone hoped for, but it was the grim clarity that the investigation needed. The discovery shifted the investigation into a new, darker phase, one that would challenge the legal system and change the town of Soham forever. As the summer days wore on, the collective anxiety of Soham and the nation grew. With every sunrise and sunset, the hope for Holly and Jessica's safe return diminished.
Fear and mourning grip southern England, where authorities say two bodies found in a rural area are almost certainly those of two missing 10-year-old girls.
The investigation was at its most critical juncture, with the eyes of the world watching, waiting for any sign of the girls. On August 17th, a grim discovery on the outskirts of an RAF base near Lockheath changed everything. It was here in a secluded area known only to a few that the remains of Holly and Jessica were found. The news sent shockwaves through the heart of the community and the country. The location was remote, the conditions were grim. Forensic experts painstakingly gathered evidence, each piece a silent testament to the final moments of two lost lives. The reality was stark, and the task of processing the scene was not just scientific, but deeply emotional for all involved. With the recovery of the bodies, the nature of the case shifted dramatically. It was no longer a search for missing persons, but a murder investigation. The community of Soham, while grieving, now demanded justice for Holly and Jessica. As the details of the girls' final hours began to emerge, the horror of what had transpired in the quiet town of Soham became clearer. Ian Huntley, the man who had been at the center of the investigation from the start, was arrested, his role in the tragedy becoming undeniable. The arrest was a crucial moment, marking a pivotal turn in a case that had gripped the nation. It brought a mix of relief and profound sorrow. A suspect was in custody, but the brutal reality of the crime was now laid bare. As the Soham community began to grapple with the grim reality of the murders, the nation turned its attention to the ensuing legal proceedings. The trial of Ian Huntley, the man charged with the murder of Holly and Jessica, was set to become one of the most followed and scrutinized in British legal history. The proceedings commenced amidst intense public and media scrutiny. Ian Huntley faced the charges, while Maxine Carr was accused of providing a false alibi. The evidence presented was damning, built on meticulous forensic analysis and the chilling testimonies that reconstructed the final moments of the girls' lives. Throughout the trial, the community of Soham watched as the horrifying details of the crime were laid bare. Families mourned openly, but there was also a palpable sense of seeking justice for Holly and Jessica, whose lives had been cut tragically short. After weeks of testimony, the jury returned their verdict. Ian Huntley was found guilty and sentenced to 2 life terms with a recommendation that he never be released. Maxine Carr was convicted of perverting the course of justice and served a sentence before being released under a new identity. In the wake of the trial, there was a national outcry over how someone with Huntley's background could have been allowed to work so closely with children. This led to significant changes in the vetting process for individuals working in schools known as the Safeguarding Vulnerable Groups Act, and the introduction of more rigorous background checks. As Soham and the rest of the country moved forward, the lessons of the case prompted a broader discussion about trust, safety, and the measures necessary to protect the most vulnerable in society. Today, the memories of Holly and Jessica continue to influence policies and practices. Their legacy is a testament to a tragedy that reshaped a nation's approach to child safety and community trust. Their smiles, forever captured in that last photograph, reminds us of the fragility of life and the duty we all have to protect the innocent. Thank you for watching. For more in-depth documentaries, don't forget to subscribe and click the bell icon to stay updated on our latest releases. And comment down below for any other cases you may want to hear next.